Today, we're going to deconstruct a really extraordinary public document. Seriously, this isn't just some dry legal notice. It's a bold, public challenge to some incredibly powerful institutions. It's a case study, really, in what happens when justice is denied and a call for a billion-dollar reckoning. So yeah, let's dive right in.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of this specific case, we really need to wrap our heads around the big idea at its core. Because this isn't just about legal arguments. It's about a fundamental law, almost like gravity, of justice and consequence.
Now, what's so powerful about this quote is how it completely flips the script on why things fall apart. It's not about outside attacks or sabotage. The argument here is that the system is basically collapsing under its own weight, that it's the inevitable, natural result of being built on an unjust foundation to begin with.
So the core message is this: you just can't build something that lasts on a shaky, compromised foundation. According to this document, if you ignore that original sin of the institution, whether you stay silent or just make some empty, performative gestures, you're only guaranteeing that it will eventually implode. True integrity, it argues, well, that's just non-negotiable.
All right, with that powerful principle in mind, let's turn to a real-world example where this whole theory is being put to the test in a very, very public way. We're looking at a call to action from a man named Donald Matthew Varnado. And trust me, it is a truly unconventional document.
Yeah, this is no quiet legal filing you'd find buried in some courthouse archive. The document we're looking at is a public call to arms for the entire legal community. It's an open invitation to form an alliance and demand massive restitution for what it claims is a historic injustice.
And the allegations at the heart of this thing, they're staggering. We're talking about the unauthorized use of intellectual property on a global scale. A coordinated campaign to literally erase the original creator, systemic financial sabotage over a long period. And it goes even further, alleging compounded damages from new tech built on the original work and even constitutional violations. I mean, these are not small claims. These are accusations of the absolute highest order.
So what's the price tag for all this alleged injustice? The document is brutally direct, and honestly, the numbers it puts forward are almost hard to wrap your head around.
Yep, you are seeing that correctly. The document is claiming damages in the 9 to 12-figure range. That's billions and potentially even trillions of dollars. A number that big isn't just about the money, right? It's a statement. It's meant to communicate the sheer scale and severity of the harm that's being alleged.
And this isn't just some number plucked out of thin air. The document uses this fascinating term, recursive monetization, to explain how the damages could have grown so exponentially. Think of it like this. Imagine someone steals your secret recipe. Then they open a restaurant with it, then a whole chain of restaurants. Then they start selling merchandise and licensing the brand, all without paying you a single dime. That's the kind of compounding value this claim is trying to capture.
Now this is a really key point because it underscores the sheer confidence of the document. It's flat out asserting that these aren't just wild accusations, but claims that are backed by hard evidence. When you see phrases like traceable provenance and chain of custody records, it suggests a clear paper trail exists to prove ownership and track all the alleged misuse.
So how did it even get to this point, this public declaration of war? Well, according to the document, this was not the first move, not by a long shot. This public call for a strike team was apparently born from years of being systematically ignored. The document alleges over 100 attempts to resolve this privately. Can you imagine that? Over 100 times, reaching out through legal, public, and administrative channels, only to be met with what it describes as a total wall of silence. So this new strategy, this public call for a legal strike team, it's framed as the only option left when every single conventional door has been slammed shut in your face.
And just look at who they're trying to recruit. It's a call for seasoned federal litigators, but also hungry young attorneys with integrity. It's open to big firms and solo practitioners. But honestly, the most telling part is that last one. They are looking for professionals not intimidated by institutional power. That one little phrase, it speaks volumes about the kind of fight they're expecting.
And all of this leads to the final, incredibly powerful section of the document. This is not a request for help. It's an ultimatum. It frames this whole impending legal battle as the inevitable consequence of that very injustice we talked about at the start. This line. This is the one that just perfectly captures the tone of the whole thing. It's raw, it's direct, and it's an appeal to a very specific kind of lawyer. It's not an invitation to just review a case. It's a signal flare that says the target is in sight, the evidence is in hand, and the hunt is on. The confidence is just palpable. And so, here we are, full circle, right back to that initial principle. This whole document is one person's dramatic answer to being ignored. But it really leaves us all with a much bigger question, doesn't it? When a foundational injustice is met with a wall of silence, is a chaotic, public reckoning inevitable? Is some kind of collapse, one way or another, simply the price of justice delayed for too long?